All right, we got ourselves some juicy news here today, and it looks like it's a teaser of something coming up for Total War Saga Troy. Now, we have these 3 scrolls spread around the map, and we're going to be talking about this one here today. So I assume we've got 2 more days of teasers or something of the sort coming up. So we'll be talking about that here today, going through the hints in the scroll, and then I'll be giving you guys my overall guess, I guess you could say, as to what it is. Now, I apologize up front. I have terrible allergies, so I'll be probably clearing my throat a lot more than I usually do. And I, again, apologize, but in my typical fashion of upfronting the knowledge in this video, what I got from reading the hints here so far is that this is going to hint towards the Gryphon. And we'll take a look as to why that's the case when we jump into the video. But if that's all you wanted to know, the teaser's about a Gryphon, cool. Shut down the video, you're good to go. Now, I say Gryphon because it could possibly be other things, but I think I'm pretty dead on this. So let's go ahead and press play and get watching. And again, you can jump out at this point, obviously. Oh, actually, was this? Yeah, I was looking at the right scroll. You can jump out at this point. I mean, I've given you all the spoilers, as it were, so if you don't want to watch the whole thing, please, by all means, head on out. So, King of Land, Ruler of Sky. Yeah, I mean, this definitely looks like Troy. We already get the Trojans in their overall look there. Guarding my treasure. With gluttonous eye. So, a nice little riddle here. Going forward a little bit. I think the real giveaway too is the noise. Like, when I first watched this, I saw, okay, well, gluttonous eye, Cyclops? No, because then when I jump back to this portion, I think King of Land, Ruler of Sky. That's definitely not the Cyclops. What comes to mind is the Gryphon. Gryphon is 1 part eagle, 1 part lion. Both of one of the King of the Land, the lion, Ruler of the Sky, the eagle. Put the 2 together. We get some further contextual clues here. We got some feathers right there. There's these talon marks on this dog, or not dog, a wolf, sheep, perhaps. What the hell kind of sheep has a tail like that? And then, of course, this kind of hint about treasure. And in Greek mythology, that was pretty common. In the Middle Ages, it's why Gryphons became so iconic and so important to a lot of heraldry, because they were seen as this kind of dual king, right? King of the land, king of the sky, because of the dual presence of both a lion and an eagle. So I think this kind of shows us that we're going to be getting Gryphons in some way, shape, or form in Total War Saga Troy. And to be totally honest with you, when you take a look at the timeline for this, it makes sense. We're coming up to the end of July, coming into August, and depending upon when this DLC goes live, it'll probably coincide with Steam's launch of Total War Saga Troy. Remember, Total War Saga Troy was exclusive to the Epic launcher for a year. And after that, it goes to Steam. So this could be Creative Assembly's way of saying, okay, hey, if it's coming to Steam, let's kind of make it have a little bit more fanfare. I bet you what we'll see is a discounted version of the game if you buy the DLC or something like that. I bet you it's going to be something like that because so many people picked up Troy for free when it came out on day 1. So there's going to have to be an incentive to want to pick it up on Steam at a reduced cost, or else I'm just going to buy it on Epic. I mean, I think that's kind of, it's something like that needs to happen. So we're going to have to see if there's more of these coming out. And we're going to have to also find out a little bit more about what this really means. Is it a DLC? Is it a total change? The Gryphon, as it were, is a pretty mythological beast. When we take a look at stuff like the Minotaur and so on and so forth with the other quote unquote mythological units that are represented in Troy, they're not mythological, right? There's that kind of truth behind the mythology, which I personally have never been a huge fan of. Like, when I play Total War Saga Troy, I want to see a Cyclops. I want to see a gigantic stomach, maybe a huge set of balls, and a single eye. That's what I want. So maybe this is a sort of Total War Troy goes mythological, and that's the kind of angle of this DLC. And we'll find out more, hopefully, as we get closer to, I mean, if today is Wednesday, we probably would get something on a Thursday or a Tuesday that would give us a blog post or a full-on trailer or something of the sort. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to play out, because I personally would love to see a actual Gryphon, an actual Hydra, an actual Cyclops, all the things that we see from Greek mythology in the Age of Heroes, represented as their actual mythological counterparts. And let's be honest here, this is the Warhammer 2 engine. So just port it on over from the Dark Elves. There you go. You're done. So hopefully, again, we'll get some more information here. Again, there's not a whole ton to go off of in this video here. And I think that one of the biggest shortcomings with Troy right now is that when you play it, you do have access to these kind of super units in the mythological representations, the history behind the myth units, like the Minotaur, for example, which is a pretty beefy single entity, and so on and so forth, with the Harpies being a really cool javelin style unit and what have you. But hopefully with a DLC that's themed on mythology, we get a presence of them having a little bit more, I don't want to say staying power, but just have a little bit more presence on the battlefield. As it were, playing with any of the unique quote-unquote units is kind of lackluster. Like, you play Total War Warhammer 2 with Silence and Fury, and you have a Doom Bull or Doom Bull or Taurox, and that's like the pinnacle Chad of Minotaur. And if I can't have that in a game called Total War Saga Troy, it just doesn't make much sense to me. So hopefully, if this does do a DLC that is geared towards mythology, it's not a addition, it's a retroactive change. Hey, this is a game mode we're adding to the game, kind of like Records and Historical mode were for Three Kingdoms. And with that, you can choose to play Total War Saga Troy with the truth behind the history. Well, who wants to do that? Or you can play as mythological Total War Saga Troy, and all the units now have mythological models and representation, and hopefully that could even expand into other things of just the normal human soldiers, or even just the normal heroes, and kind of going heavier into that mythology. And I know that when we take a look at mythology and fantasy, a lot of Total War players don't like that. They want to have either fantasy or history, and I think that this is a better approach to just kind of push it into fantasy, because I don't think of the War of the Helen of Troy as a staunch historical fact that I want to pour through. Like, it has to have the interference of the gods and what have you. So again, really curious to see what this kind of comes out to be. Go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. We haven't really even touched on Troy since it came out, and I really kind of think that there wasn't a whole ton to go into. So this might actually bring about some more things to talk about, some more guides to make, whatever it is. But again, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are, if you think that this is mythological, if you think it's not even Troy. I'd love, because we did get that one blog post and they were saying, hey, there's some other things coming. Be on the lookout. I think you might be surprised. And I was hoping to hear a little bit about what the real new Three Kingdoms 2 is, or whatever the hell that's going to be named. So not totally disappointing, because I actually ended up enjoying Troy way more than I thought I would, but I'm very curious to see how this is going to be executed. But as always, guys, there you go. There's your down and dirty news for the day. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, all that fun action, but have a good one and take care.